Before the rain ever fell, there was a man who stood alone. Not alone in a storm, alone in a crowd. Alone in his obedience. Alone in believing God when no one else did. This is the story of Noah. But it's really a story about the giant so many of us face. The fear of being the only one who says yes, when everyone around you says you're a fool. The world Noah lived in had grown dark. Violence and corruption filled the earth until it grieved the heart of God himself. And in the middle of that darkness, God spoke to one man. "Build an ark," he said. "The flood is coming." Noah had never seen rain fall from the sky. There was no storm on the horizon, no sign, no proof, just a voice, and a command that made no sense to anyone but him. So he started building. On dry land, under a clear sky, Noah began constructing a vessel the size of nothing anyone had ever seen. And the world watched. They laughed, they mocked. Year after year, as the hammer struck wood and the ark rose higher, the ridicule grew louder. "Where is your flood, old man? Where is your God?" Can you imagine the weight of that? Obeying a voice no one else could hear, for a promise no one else believed, while your neighbors point and jeer at the sheer strangeness of your faith. That's the giant Noah faced. Maybe it's the giant you're facing right now. The pressure to abandon what you know is right, simply because you're the only one doing it. Noah didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He just kept building. And when the ark was finished, something remarkable happened. The animals came, 2 by 2, wild and tame, drawn by an instinct only their creator could have placed in them. Lions beside lambs, doves beside serpents, a silent procession up the ramp into the dark belly of the ark. Then Noah, his wife, his sons and their wives stepped inside, and the door was shut behind them, not by human hands, but by God himself. 7 days of silence followed. 7 days where nothing happened. Imagine the doubt that must have crept in. Had he wasted his life on a delusion? Then on the 7th day, the sky broke open. Rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights. Waters rose over the mountains. Everything Noah had once known was swallowed beneath the flood. The ark that had been mocked for 100 years became the only thing standing between his family and the end of everything. Inside, in the dark, rocked by the waves, Noah's family waited. They could not see land. They could not see sky. All they had was the promise God had spoken before the first drop ever fell. For 150 days, the waters covered the earth. Then slowly they began to recede. Noah sent out a raven, and it did not return. Then he sent out a dove, and the dove came back with nothing because there was still no place to rest. 7 days later, he sent it out again. This time the dove returned carrying a fresh olive leaf in its beak. Life was returning to the earth. Finally, the ark came to rest on a mountain. Noah opened the door, stepped onto solid ground for the first time in over a year, and built an altar. He worshiped the God who had kept his word when no one else believed it would come true. And then God did something extraordinary. He set a rainbow in the sky, a covenant, a promise, stretched across the heavens for every generation after. Never again would he destroy the earth with a flood. It was a sign not just for Noah, but for you and for me and for every person who has ever stood alone in obedience and wondered if it was worth it. Here's what Noah's story tells us. You may be the only one building right now, the only one saying yes when everyone else says no, the only one who hears a voice that no one else can hear. But the mockery of the crowd is never proof that you're wrong. And the silence before the storm doesn't mean the promise has failed. Sometimes God asks us to build something the world doesn't understand, not because we're foolish, but because we're faithful. And when the flood finally comes, it won't be the ones who laughed who are found safe. It will be the ones who kept building. If you're facing your own flood right now, a season where obedience feels lonely and faith feels foolish, take heart. The God who shut the door for Noah is the same God who is with you now. Keep building. The rainbow is coming.